Hello everybody, welcome to episode 16 of How to Survive Living with an Alcoholic. So I'm including this in the How to Survive Living with an Alcoholic series, but actually it's almost the start of a new series which I shall be calling Psychopaths, Narcissists and Other Lovers. But I want the people who've been following how to survive living with an alcoholic to be aware of this. I'm going to talk about coercive control. Now, coercive control, before I get into that, I realized at the end of the last video that I had forgotten to give you details of a link which is digital-trust.org. So it's digital with a capital D -trust with a capital T.org. If you look there, they will give you on there, there's information about how to clear your phone, clear your computer, check if there's any tracking devices on them, because it is well worth tracking, because often the partners that I'm talking about now at this end of the scale, who are on the kind of narcissist psychopath spectrum, they will often be tracking every move that you make. So it's worth doing that. And it fits in with coercive control because that's part of the way that you're controlled. So coercive control is probably the most common form of domestic abuse. For years, historically, professionals, police, enforcement agencies, and all sorts of agencies and organizations, they would tend to focus on domestic violence. So if you'd been hit or injured or some form of physical harm. But of course there's many victims of domestic abuse who are not physically harmed. And I see a lot of young women too who will say, if I ask or inquire, has there ever been any domestic abuse or domestic violence, they will often say, well, he's only just slapped me a few times. As if that is not domestic abuse. And I have to remind them, actually, nobody has the right to slap anybody, and that actually is abusive behaviour. But, a lot of young women, if they've grown up in a household where there was domestic abuse, they tend to normalise it and think that, oh, well, it was only just a slap, it wasn't a punch. And that makes it okay. So I just wonder if you have normalized some of that kind of behavior. But look, the point here is coercive control is mostly not about physical harm. It is about all the subtle ways that your life is taken over, that reduces you to just a shell of a human being. So I've got some notes here. Fundamentally, coercive control takes away your freedom, your liberty, your human rights, and reduces you to just like a slave, really. So if you've got a partner who dictates everything that you say and do, where you go, who you go with, how long you're there, who you speak to, if they monitor your phone, if they monitor how many miles you do in the car, if they track you in any way. And I mean, a lot of victims don't know that they are being tracked and monitored all the time. But, eventually you come to find out because they start talking about things and you think, well, how did they know that? So one of the biggest things is being isolated, moving, either moving to somewhere geographically where it's not easy for you to see friends, and if you have to drive and you know that he's going to monitor how many miles you're doing and who you're seeing, and he gives you all kinds of reasons why not to see them. And this is often done by telling you lies about them and telling them lies about you, and creating you know, separation between you and your friends and family, either geographically or by lying and making things up. So they set the rules for everything. Who you see, they also don't want you to work much. They like to have the money from your work, but they don't want you doing any work that might give you any kind of financial freedom. Or that you might enjoy too much, or you might get a bit ambitious, or you know, you've got other people's perspective on things. So they will control it, and they may make a point of dropping you to work and picking you up from work. You know, and under the guise of being helpful, and you know, look how considerate they are. They make sure you get to work safely. It's all about your safety. And they constantly text you and expect you to text them back because they're concerned about you. And you know, it's not concern at all, it's tracking you. So they are also something of, you know, a Jekyll and Hyde, this kind of street angel, house devil. How they are at home with you is quite different to how they are in front of other people. And if they are violent and abusive, the bruises that you get, they will tell other people that you got that from falling about when you got drunk, and they'll make up stories about you as well. So fortunately, coercive control is now starting to be recognised. I mean, the point is this, like in the UK, there are 3 women, on average 3 women a month are murdered by their partners. There are 2 men, no, it's three women. Just let me get that again. Every 3 days, a woman is murdered in the UK by her partner or ex-partner. So that's quite a few. So that's about 10 a month. There's about 2 men a month. Now, actually, whether it's men or women being murdered by their partners, none of it's right. But I'm just making a point of getting those figures in, because often, you know, when I'm talking about these issues and to raise awareness about how serious an issue it is, sometimes I'll even get women who'll say, oh well, what about men? Well, of course men are important, all human beings are important, but it's a hugely greater issue for women than men. And often women don't have the actual physical ability to get out. If a man who's usually bigger and stronger than she is standing in front of her, blocking her way, you know, there is a difference. So I'm not in favour of one or the other. I'm just stating the facts. So usually, an underreported fact is that there's about 500 women a year commit suicide, usually following some domestic abuse incident. And it's usually when the abuse has been going on for so long and they get so worn down and so helpless and hopeless. And they've tried maybe to speak to professionals about it and they've not been understood, or their partner has, you know, just invalidated everything that they've said. So it's a huge number of women are committing suicide because of the domestic abuse that they're living with. So coercive control also is about these smear campaigns, threats, intimidation, the smear campaigns, gaslighting, being criticised and put down, you know, constantly being told, well, nobody would want you anyway, you know, you're no kind of a woman. Like, if you could be more of a woman or more of a wife or more of a mother, then I wouldn't have to behave this way. And you know, you just get ground down with it all. So there's the number of different fronts. Financially, your ability to earn gets restricted, your access to money gets restricted, so you can't get away. It's more difficult for you to get away. Physically, you can be blocked physically, or they can go and find you and drag you back, literally drag you back. It's unusual for a woman to be able to go and literally grab a man and drag him back. But, you know, that's just one of those gender differences. So technologically, you can be tracked, stalked, you can be imprisoned, really, by having your access to cars and transport restricted. And after you leave, when you try no contact, they will often contact your friends, your family, and say things, or you know, it can be nice things, you know, how much they miss you, or it can be horrible things. And usually, you know, your friends, your family will pass it on, even though actually it's better for you to not have any contact at all, because all that is a form of contact. They use the children. They use the children as a way of pulling you in. They will use smear campaigns on social media, on Facebook. They'll put all sorts of things on there. And this works both ways. You know, really, if you are looking to leave, you need to be aware, stop using the social media, because it's not safe for you and you can be tracked. And, you know, people who don't understand will give information about you, and they can stalk you online. So just don't get engaged in a Facebook smear campaign. The other things that they do is they'll make reports to schools, to social services, to the police, to housing, to doctors, and, you know, tell them that you're mistreating the children, or whatever. There are other ways of getting at you. They'll run up debt. You know, if there's anything that you've left in your name, they'll run up debt on it. So it actually damages your credit rating. So be very careful about what you've got in your name. Also, many women find that where they thought their name was on the deeds of the property that they have bought, actually their name wasn't put on it, and they think it was. You know, things like that. Contact with children becomes a big battleground, and often they will complain about contact and make issues, bring it to court. Everybody's got to go to court, and they will make sure that, you know, women have got to run up debt, run up using money that they haven't got, just simply to just be vexatious. So there's some of the things that are involved in coercive control. All of those things, even if they seem individually, they seem like little things, I would urge you to keep a running record of any and all of those things that happen. You know, if they send an email to a friend and the friend passes the message on to you, make a note of it. Anything and everything, because coercive control is about a cumulative picture. So the time has come for you to start looking out for yourself, taking care of yourself. I know what this all feels like. I've been there and I've got out of it, and you can too. So I encourage you to take courage, be brave, look after yourself and protect yourself, and take these steps to make sure that you get out of it. I mean, a lot of women try to, you know, they just so want to get away from it, and they They don't realise how much this can go on or how long it can go on for, and the lengths that these people will go to. And so they tend to not monitor it and take note of it. They tend to think, oh, well, you know, it'll all be okay in a few months. It can be a few years. The thing is to deal with it now. And I shall be saying more in my new series, Psychopaths, Narcissists and Other Lovers. I hope you have found this series useful, and you know, as usual, click like, make a few comments, let me know what you find useful, and if there's anything else that you need or want to know, please let me know. I am running an online coaching group for anyone who wants to engage in online coaching, and I am setting up an online video course for anybody who wants more information about this. Please let me know. And it's been great doing this series, and I do hope you not only survive, but you thrive. Bye for now.